The place was called Farm Hall. It looked like a peaceful countryside home, but it was really a British intelligence trap. Every room was bugged, every conversation recorded. The Germans had no idea. They spent their days waiting for the war to officially end, talking about physics, politics, and their future. Then, on August 6th, a British officer entered with a newspaper. He said simply, "An American bomb has destroyed a city in Japan, Hiroshima." A single bomb? Impossible. But as the officer described the destruction, the laughter stopped. Heisenberg, Hitler's leading physicist, grabbed a pencil and began scribbling equations. Minutes passed. Then he looked up. "It's real," he said quietly. "They actually did it." Hiroom erupted. Some shouted, others fell silent. Otto Hahn, who discovered nuclear fission, turned pale. "My discovery killed 100,000 people," he whispered, and walked out. Then came the arguments. Some blamed the Nazi leadership for ignoring science. Others said they'd focused on the wrong goals, building reactors instead of weapons. Heisenberg defended himself. "We were trying to make energy, not bombs." But deep down, they all knew the truth. They hadn't failed because of physics. They'd failed because they were behind. One scientist finally said what everyone was thinking. The Americans were simply better. Through the night, Heisenberg worked furiously, trying to understand how America had done it. By morning, he'd solved it. "They used uranium-235, he said, "but to separate it, you need enormous factories." Factories Germany never had. While American scientists worked safely in cities built just for the Manhattan Project, German labs hid in basements under air raids. America had the power of an empire: money, resources, manpower. Germany had scraps. One of them muttered bitterly, "They built towns, we built theories." In that moment, they realized this wasn't about genius, it was about scale. Listening in the corner was General Erich von Stein. He finally spoke. "Gentlemen, you're missing the point. This weapon doesn't just end a war, it ends the idea of war." The room went still. "Whoever owns this bomb," he continued, "doesn't fight battles, they control the world through fear." He paused. "America now has more power than every empire in history combined." No one argued. In that instant, they understood that Germany hadn't just lost a war, it had lost the future. The scientists began to talk about the man who had led them there, Adolf Hitler. Heisenberg recalled meeting him in 1942. He tried to explain nuclear fission. Hitler interrupted. "How long will it take?" 3 years, maybe more." "Too long," Hitler said. "I want weapons now." Germany could never have built the atomic bomb, not with fear, not with chaos, not under a dictator who silenced his own thinkers. Von Stein spoke one last time. "Even if we had finished it," he said, "we couldn't have used it. By then, Germany would already be ashes." He looked around the room. "America won through freedom and cooperation," he said softly. "We lost through fear and hate." The microphones clicked off. The recordings were sent to British intelligence. He dismissed nuclear research as Jewish science. And because of that hatred, Germany lost its greatest minds: Einstein, Bohr, Szilard, all of them fled to America. One scientist said bitterly, "Hitler gave them our victory." Another added, He destroyed our future through arrogance and hate. As dawn rose over the English countryside, the men sat in silence. They finally understood the truth. And in that quiet house called Farm Hall, 10 of Hitler's greatest minds realized they had never stood a chance. The Farm Hall recordings remain one of the most haunting relics of World War II, not because they revealed how the bomb was built, but because they exposed why Germany failed to build it. Brilliance can create a weapon, but wisdom decides how it's used. On that night in 1945, Germany's finest minds finally understood. They hadn't just lost a war, they'd lost the world.